Stirring the mushroom latte with chopsticks, using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your mushroom coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, mushroom coffee. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Second week on mushroom coffee. I'll put a link for it down below. Trying different brands. And I'm really enjoying them. And after I try different ones, then I'll give my opinion on the best ones that I have found. But I have found after 5 days of mushroom coffee, literally, creativity popped. My writing just there was almost like a log jam, and something happened with my writing after the 5th day of mushroom coffee. It kind of reminds me of when I first started drinking bulletproof coffee and how I felt with that and how satiated I felt. I could have a cup of bulletproof coffee, excuse me, and not be hungry until lunch because the fat literally was very satisfying, and then I had the pick-me-up effect of caffeine. And I stopped using coconut oil and started using butter rather than coconut oil for the fat, and that was infinitely better. And then I would tweak that with a little bit of Vietnamese cinnamon, some high-fat cocoa in there, and that was out of this world. Really one of my favorite drinks of all time, definitely. We have a lot to talk about today. Yesterday was a holiday, Columbus Day, even though I did work privately. Pop quiz. Why has the phrase small batch come to be associated with quality? Put your answers down below. I'd like to hear what you think, and if you are a marketer like myself, you'll probably have an interesting perspective on that. So I'd like to hear what you think. Gentlemen, stop tilting your head in pictures. It projects weakness, and it takes a while to be aware of it. And you will occasionally slip up, but I just want you to be aware. Stop tilting your head in pictures. Sarcasm without license is mere condescension. When did sarcasm become a virtue? When I was out there in the online dating world at one time, women would say, well, I'm sarcastic. You might as well say that you're ugly and that you eat too much or that you're unattractive, because being sarcastic is very, very unattractive. I don't know what got into women's heads, because a lot of them are saying that. It's not a good quality. It's not funny. It's not cool. It's not attractive. You go down a few notches when you say that you are sarcastic. Satire is always better. Satire is funny. Sarcasm is tragic, and it's condescending. So don't lead with, I'm sarcastic. I can be sarcastic at times. No, not good. The prospect didn't do what you want them to do. Don't cut them off, or say goodbye, or close the door. Have 3 more alternatives in your hand to offer. I always like to say that if you're in sales or marketing, 3 things you should be offering at all times: good, better, and best. There are times to be decisive and make strong, bold decisions, solid decisions. And then there are times to kind of slow cook the data, but not overthink it. Don't suffer from the paralysis of analysis. Maybe even create a visual decision tree. Think about that. Just Google the phrase decision tree. A flow chart. It visually shows you and spells out, if you go in this direction, then this will happen. If you go in this direction, then that will happen. And what it does, it fleshes out the if this, then that scenario with all the possibilities. It's a great way to visually work through your decisions. Most of you don't do that. I can guarantee you, you don't do that. When you write down problems and write the possible solutions visually and kinesthetically, okay, you're seeing it. There's communication happening with your eyes. Your senses are into it. You're actually engaging all of your brain. The kinesthetic approach, writing it down with a pen on paper, that's another part of your being that's engaged in this decision-making process. What you want to do is remove emotions from the decision-making process and write down possible scenarios. If this, then that. And follow each one of those to its logical conclusion as far as you can go. You'll be okay. Respond, don't react. Always have a 24-hour buffer period before you respond to challenges. No one says that you need to have an answer now. Man, that is so good. Ridiculously good. There is wisdom in the old phrase, let me sleep on it. For acute business crisis, pre-plan your responses, emergency plans, so you don't have to make quick decisions. It's kind of like an emotional evacuation plan. There's a lot of wisdom in that. I laughed out loud for 2 nights reading Scottish author and playwright J.M. Barrie's book called My Lady Nicotine, A Study in Smoke. He was born in 1860 and died in 1937. You know him best as the author of Peter Pan. And if you like Oscar Wilde at all, some of that kind of humor, you are going to love J.M. Beery. It's free on Project Gutenberg. So just go to gutenberg.org and look for My Lady Nicotine by J.M. Beery. Thank me later. That which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon and have touched with our hands concerning the word of life. That's a strong testimony, isn't it? We've seen it. We looked upon it. We touched it. We experienced it. Do unto others is a cool command. But what if that was more of an observation than a command? Christian women, my experience is this: Christian women don't think I am Christian enough. And a lot of Christian guys too don't think I'm Christian enough. Too sacred for the sinners and too sinful for the saints. And I'm kind of like right in the middle. I know where I stand. And I probably wouldn't pass anyone's purity test in any form or fashion. It's not a big deal, and I'm totally okay with that. Not to be confused with lukewarm. Emotions are your enemy. Act your empathy. Don't wear it on your sleeve. Don't virtue signal it or let it come out of your tear ducts. Control your shit or your shit will control you. Live it. Don't talk it. It's still dark outside. The opportunity hasn't risen yet. Although I look forward to it every day. I'm usually on the road by 6:30 and it's still dark out. You hate women too? Wow, so do I. Let's start a YouTube show and then maybe have a retreat. Imagine an entire movement based upon what you don't like and what you disagree on and what rubs you the wrong way, but disguise it as chasing excellence. It sounds gay to me. Enough already. Record executives said the Allman Brothers should relocate the band to New York or Los Angeles to acclimate them to the industry. They wanted us to act more like a rock band, Greg told them. To go F themselves. The members of the band remained optimistic and they stayed in the South. In 1968, Greg Allman moves to Los Angeles. Nobody gets him. No one understands him and his music. There's despair to the point of suicidal thoughts. He wakes up at his bottom. He decides to go back to Georgia, play with his brother. The rest is history. Hence the song, Pull Myself Together, Put on a New Face, Climb Down Off the Hilltop, Baby, Get Back in the Race. From the song Dreams. Look it up, Dreams by the Allman Brothers. Incredible, moving song. Think about how good you could look if your mouth was as disciplined as your biceps. If everybody ends up in the same place, old and ugly, then why is everyone so focused on looks? For this little window of time in your life, you're focused on looks. When you look at two old people, you don't think, wow, what a good-looking couple. You don't think that. You just think, you look at how they get along, how they care for one another. That's what you look at. That's what you notice. But we're so focused on looks, aren't we? Looks fade. They always do. For a certain time, period of time, some people look a little bit better. Some people age differently. I'm not going to go into the demeaning conversation, what do they say? Men age like wine, women age like milk. Yeah, okay. That's part of that whole group of guys that I distanced myself from. And they're still not happy. The bastards are still not happy. They're still talking shit, putting everybody down. And this is how I know it's a cult. This is how I know. You know the difference between a cult and just a movement? Look what happens when you try to leave a cult. Different than when you leave a movement. When you leave a movement, people say, all right, hey, see ya. Good having you. When you try to leave a cult, they demean you, they surround you, they intimidate you. There's a campaign, a smear campaign. It happened with me when I left the red pill circle of influence. For months, I dealt with demeaning bullshit on social media, that's how you know it's a cult. What happens when you try to leave it? That, right there. Amazon Prime is so worth it. The best thing that I did a couple years ago. Are you a member? 66% said yes, 28% said no, 6% said Nibiru. Keep fawning over her, bro. Because soon you're going to be crying yourself to sleep. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. No more fawning. I took a poll. I said, men, do you prefer... And then here's the breakdown. 31% said nerdy chicks. 33% said Victoria's Secret types. 20% said athletic hard body. 16% said more to love types of women. A nice breakdown, isn't it? People are different. Men and women are different. People are different. Some guys like the nerdy girl. Some guys just gotta have that model looking girl. Some people have to have that athletic hard body, the girls that flex. And some guys, the smallest percentage, like the women who have carrying a little bit more weight. As some people would say, thicker. I always said thick just means fat. But everyone's different. Not everybody likes vanilla ice cream. Not everybody likes strawberry. Or chocolate. There's 50 different flavors of ice cream in the store. And there's something for everybody. And that's cool. Yard work and chores are the original gym. Need a good workout? Go chop some wood, mow the lawn, do some gardening, build a deck, build a fire, build a shed. That's the original gem. On relationships. In the pipe smoking world, there's a concept called ghosting. It's when you put a tobacco that has a strong room note, a Latakia blend in the pipe. Strong meaning earthy, leathery, peat, cut grass, hay, smoky. And then later you try an aromatic such as cherry or caramel, the more pleasurable aromas to the average person on the sidewalk. But the strong pipe tobacco ghosts the pipe. That's why many pipe enjoyers dedicate certain pipes to certain tobaccos, because of the ghosting. The taste of the previous tobacco is haunting and ghosting the new tobacco that you're trying in the pipe. In the dating world, I have found one of the top factors is the ghosting factor. Is the other person free from the ghosting of past relationships? Are you getting to know, and are you meeting and getting to know a whole person? The real person, or the person who is just in reaction mode to the past relationship? If you are an online dater and you see someone that says, I'm not looking for someone who drinks too much, or alcoholics, please swipe left. That reveals what they went through in their last relationship or their marriage. They were married to an alcoholic. They were dating an alcoholic. So they're telling you what they don't want. When you see a dating profile where people are describing themselves in positive terms, and it's not an entire narrative about what they don't want, you're onto something. When people are stating what they don't want, that's just a big reaction to what happened to them. They are ghosted by past relationships. So I say this: keep everything light and friendly, let the ghosting go, and then you yourself can freely choose a new partner. It's a great way to be. That's why some people say, I need some time off before I get back out there again. There's some wisdom in that. Oh my God, there's an entire human skeleton in my house. Actually, it's inside my skin, and I have total control over it. If you got fat together, why not get fit together? I've seen couples where one person is starting to get fit, and the fat one gets angry, jealous, anxious, harder to get along with when the other person is improving themselves. Why not do it together, and don't despise your partner if they are trying to better themselves. Ladies, don't leave your husband. Look at me. Don't leave your husband. If you don't give up and you love the unlovely, over time they will become lovely to you again. Stay for you. He can be the man he wants to be. Engage him and provoke him to follow his dream, which has been flickering. No one can influence him like you. Ladies, stay with your man. I am well aware that much of what I am now and what I do is a gift or a curse from my past. Tim Keller. Lewis Smedes says, when I married my wife, I had no sense of what I was getting into. How could I know how much I would change? My wife has lived with at least 5 different men since we wed, and each of the 5 has been me. Same thing with her. If you've been married or with somebody for a long time, you've been with 5 different people. They've changed. Many women say this: you're not the man that I married. And they use that as a justification for divorce. Men get married hoping their wife won't change. Women get married hoping that the man will change. Guess what, folks? Both people change. When a woman says to a man, you're not the man that I married, shame on her. Nobody is the person that you married. Nobody. It's time to wake up and smell the mushroom coffee. You will always be unhappy, no matter where you go. You want to relocate somewhere else? Guess what? You take your bitchy ass self there as well. You think your problems are geographic in nature? Sorry, honey. You can remove your man, leave him, kick him out, distance yourself from him, but you have to take yourself with you wherever you go. Maybe the problem is you. Longitudinal studies reveal that 2/3 of unhappy marriages will become happy within 5 years if people stay married and don't get divorced. Vows keep you from simply running out too quickly. They give love a chance and create stability, so the feelings of love, which are always fragile in the beginning, can grow strong and deep over time. Most of you, what you think is love right now is really a feeling that is subject to change. Learn to tell the difference between a vow and commitment and how you are feeling right now. Super important for the health of any relationship. Never underestimate the power of inspiration. If people inspire you, there's an expiration date on that, and if the person lets you down, the inspiration goes. So it's better to be inspired by ideas and concepts than by people. People change, and so does the depth of their inspiration in your life. There are people that thrive and depend on you being a sheep, a follower. I don't want you to be that way. No more being a follower, be a leader, even if it's within your little sphere of influence, within your domain, in your house. Married men. Find your testicles and be the man and be the leader in your household. It's never too late. Never too late. Okay? Ladies, it's never too late to learn how to be subject to your husband's love. Another word, submission. The word submission has been given a bad rap over the years. It sounds more like slavery. But what I want you to do, ladies, is to be subject to your husband's love. Not be a slave. Not be under dictatorial rule. No one likes to live like that. But be subject to his love. He might not know how to do it yet. It takes time. He's one of those 5 people that he will be in his marriage, in your marriage. Hang in there. Ladies, hang in there. Don't leave your man. Men, don't leave your woman. Now, there are reasons to leave. Adultery is a big reason. I'm not a second chancer when it comes to adultery. Not at all. I say it's over at that point. But if it's other things, give it a chance. Everyone else is telling you to fly the coop. I might be the only voice that you're listening to right now that says, just give it another chance. Give it another chance. I know I talk to mostly men here, and about 10% of my following is ladies. I'm probably the only person anywhere that's telling ladies to stay with your man. Stay with him. Nobody has influence on him like you. Nobody. And I know it's different for you. The world applauds you when you leave your man. A man leaves his woman, he's despicable. What a scumbag. He must have cheated. A woman leaves her man, everyone's like, you go, girl, empower yourself. Be that strong, independent woman. And there's this weird, stupid reward in Western society when a woman leaves her man. I'm not talking about if she's getting beaten or constantly cheated on. That's right there, that makes sense. Go for it. Leave. You don't need to be subjected to that. But I will tell you this. I am the only voice that's telling you to hang in there and bring the best out of your man. It can be done. It can be done. You might need to reach your bottom as a couple, but it can be done. And with that, finish your mushroom coffee, and I'll see you tomorrow on the Daybreak Show.